Okay, I thought I'd make a quick video on this Yitahome fan, direct from China. All right, there's one installed right there. Shut off the light so you can see it. That's what she looks like. It's pretty heavy. So a few tips. I'm not going to go through a whole unboxing. First tip, these little washers right here and the screws, they go there. It says it right there, this side up. So this is your pretty side, so that's the way it wants to go. When you get this, they come with 3 little clips in here. See these little clips? There's another one. They look just like this. Those need to come out. And you're going to say, well, how the heck do I do it? You need to get yourself a screwdriver and spin the inside. This access port is how you're going to put these blades on here. You don't take this off, you just spin this. But you need to take and save the screws, these plastic pieces, there's 3 of them. Those need to come out before you do anything. There's another, okay? The next thing, they come with an extension tube, and then they come with the regular tube. Okay, I've got an 8-foot ceiling, and that extension tube would just about be hitting my head. So you don't want to keep that in mind. So the other thing is mounting this thing. There's several ways you can do it, and depending on what's in your ceiling, I'm going to put this other one up in here. I've already looked at it. I got a small metal box. I'm ripping it out. Some of these come with these boxes like this, and they've just got a couple nails in there. This thing's pretty heavy. I didn't like it, so I ripped it out. What I did do, you can use a 2x4 and put it between your rafters. If you're 16 inches on center, this is going to be, I'd measure it because you never know how things are these days. Mine's 14.5. Well, what I did is I actually had a scrap piece of 2x10. And I just ripped out the box, as you can see. I cut it to 14.5. I set it directly on top of the drywall up in the attic, moved my insulation, and then I came in with a couple screws hitting both those studs. And then, it's very important, take and cut yourself out a square piece where your hole was, where your existing hole was up in your ceiling. You need to cut that out. And you need to put another piece of drywall in there. Don't think you're going to mount this directly to that piece of wood, because the thing about this is this has to be flush. No matter how you install this, you must be able to see this. Okay, it must be flush. The reason being is this thing sits on here just like this, and there's no room. There's absolutely no room. If you want to buy longer screws, I guess, and there's another tip, back off these screws first thing you do. Okay, because it barely gives you enough, and it's really tight in there. Get yourself a stubby screwdriver. You're going to need a stubby, and I would suggest for doing these things a magnetic Phillips head. It just makes it easier. It's kind of hard to get in there. I use needle nose and stuff like that. The rest of it's all pretty basic. I'm a handyman, been doing this for 40 years, and all this stuff from China, it comes out a little bit different. And after you do one, you go, what's the other thing? Here, there's a little groove right here, and that's where this will sit in. The instructions don't tell you much. That's all it does, is it sits from the ceiling just like this here. And make sure it's in that groove. And then all your wires, got bad lighting here, all your wires come up through here. And you're going to have plenty of extra wire. Just stuff it in there. This right here, it'll hide all those wirings. So that's it for my tips and tricks. Like I said, if you've got an existing box up here, this will barely work. You can screw it this way, okay, across that box. But just make sure it's going to be sturdy enough, because this thing does weigh. I've already checked this one out up here. I'm ripping that metal box out. It's only held in by some drywall screws, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm using this 2x10, and then I'll I'll cut out a nice square where the old hole was and make it flush, and then obviously drill a hole from my existing wires, and I'll mount this bracket just like I did the other one. I'll mount it with the 4 provided screws. They're somewhere in here. You will have some leftover stuff. They got anchors and stuff. You will have some leftover stuff, but these screws seem sufficient, and the other one's working pretty good. Other than needing a couple batteries, 2 AAAs, everything worked just fine. So good luck.